If you want to learn more about retroactive joy, take a walk with me. If you're like me, joy may be one of those things that you've never really experienced before. There's a somatic memory and a longing for it tucked away in your nervous system. And it's a lot like how the younger generations have this nostalgia for the 1990s, a time period they've never experienced. Yet you intuitively know to call that experience into your present moment. For many of us, you didn't have examples of what it meant to be grounded in the present moment. And because of that experience, you may have found yourself living more in your head than you did in the present moment. You may not have actively engaged with your environment because it created a sense of fear and uncertainty, where even just answering the phone caused you to have extreme feelings of anxiousness. You never liked and still don't being put on the spot because it makes you feel like you're somehow in trouble. You may have felt like you were always in the wrong, and of course that makes you challenge your own reality. So you're always looking for, scanning, and accepting whatever people give to you. You became disconnected from your own discernment. After all, I am who I think you think I am. I so freely give away my sense of self so that I can keep and maintain a relationship with you. If I can please you, then I can get my needs met. Maybe. At a minimum, you keep the peace and you live small so that you don't bother anybody. Your life is filled with a lot of I'm sorry for being in the way, I'm sorry for being here, I'm sorry for existing. The reality is all that pleasing and you ultimately please no one, including yourself. And it doesn't matter how many accolades or amazing things that you've done over the years, the bar always moves forward. No matter what you do, it just never seems to be enough. You ultimately adopt the belief that I'm not enough. And that belief permeates everything that you will ever do, causing you to discount all of your life experiences, making you feel like you're always trying to catch up. Classify those amazing and positive experiences as unimportant, because you have to remember and live within the framework that you're not enough. You often feel that you don't deserve anything good in life, and ultimately when you receive it, you don't really know how to keep or maintain it. Because if you don't deserve it, and you're not worthy of it, then you shouldn't be allowed to have it. That includes love and relationships, and you've already established that you're not allowed to have anything good, so it had to end anyway. And when you recognize that that's the old story, and it's an unhelpful one at that, you'll be ready to start creating your new story. The one where you do accept, keep, and maintain all of those things that you've always desired. And this is where retroactive joy comes in. As you do the work physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you'll create a healthier sense of self, how you view the world and your place in it. You'll stop taking everything that people give to you so personally. You'll begin to recognize that often what they do give you is just a reflection of what's going on inside of them. You'll cultivate some much needed self-awareness and allow yourself to pause, listen, take in what they're saying and see if there's anything useful there for you to use in regards to yourself. Sometimes people give you some really good information and it allows you to grow, develop, and expand. Other times it's just their limitations coming out. But it's in this place that you begin to shift into a place of non-judgment. You start to lean more into life and relationships with curiosity. You find yourself better able to tap into your own empathy and put yourself in other people's shoes. And when you do that, you're able to get a better sense of what people are going through. You start to think, oh, of course this is how it is for you. Of course you would think that way. Of course this is where you're at right now. And it's not excusing poor behavior, it's just an awareness of what's happening in the moment. Once you've given something a proper assessment, you can sit back and say, wow, okay, well, sounds like they have some work to do. Sounds like I have some work to do. And eventually you do get to a place where you're not offended. You begin to recognize what you can change and what you can't. And although you can't change the world and everybody around you, you can begin to influence that experience by being more of who you are. When you allow yourself to show up fully, the world is forced to respond. And no, it doesn't mean that you're going to like the response. Some relationships and experiences will drift away, and make room for other new ones. But it's here in this space where you can backtrack and go back to the experiences where you were supposed to feel happiness, joy, and love, and give yourself that back retroactively. Now that you're tapped into these things in the present moment, you can go back to those experiences and allow yourself to experience it fully. What that looks like for me is lying on the floor with a little neck pillow with my headset in and binaural beats going on in the background. And you might still be sitting there going, yes, but what is joy? It's this. It's being tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to the present moment. Paying attention to the water, the green blades of grass, the sky, and the sound of the birds. It's allowing yourself to be here. You allow yourself to slow things down and to pay attention to everything around you. You take those feelings in this moment and you allow yourself to anchor it in to a moment in your past. Joy for me is often felt just under the diaphragm and then comes up from within. And with that comes a felt sense of peace and harmony that's transient, it's short-lived. It only ever seems to be there for a moment and then it's gone. Which is why retroactive joy is a skill that you hone over long periods of time. And of course, joy itself is a skill. And for all the naysayers who will say, easier said than done, that's kind of the point here. It takes thousands of hours to build a skill. But that's to be a master at it, and I don't know that you need to be a master. You only need a few hours of practice to consistently wire in and anchor those feelings. If this video resonated with you, be sure to get the Power of the Pivot ebook in my bio.